What's up, guys? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It is 2 a.m. out in Cali. That's when I'm filming this. Friday morning. Instagram, what up? I got you guys up in the corner. First broadcast from the new home office. Okay. We got a new desk today. It's beautiful. Love it. So, creative thinking, right? These are the witching hours, 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., the time that side hustles are active. Side hustles are flowing. A lot of people out there that have state jobs or normal 9 to 5s got that entrepreneurial mind that just won't stop. And at night, you're plugging in, you're building out social media, you're doing marketing, things like that. For me, 5, 6, 7 years ago, that's when I created the business that I'm in now, J Marqeting. And this video, this content, this live stream that I'm filming right now, I plan to be fully transparent and tell you the story of how I started my side hustle and now converted it into my full-time. And now it's a company, an LLC, that I have a couple of services and we service clients nationwide. Okay. This is a true story of a man named Jeremy Marquez, myself, who decided one day he was not going to go back and work for another company. He decided that rather than submitting his resume for another sales or marketing role, he opted to explore his side hustle, to explore his dreams. I will stop talking in third person, but I am Jeremy Marquez of J Marqeting. That's spelled J Marqeting, Marqeting. That's correct spelling of the name marketing with a Q. My last name is Marquez, so I just put a name on it. Just like a lot of stuff that I do, that came to me one night, J Marqeting. But that's not my client-facing name, anyways. That's just my name for business and tax purposes and LLC. My service, it's called We Call. We call you close. We call you close, right? So we make the calls, you close the deals. Pretty simple, right? Straightforward. It's a virtual sales team. Okay. I now refer to it in the real estate marketing world as a virtual ISA service. An ISA is an inside sales associate or assistant. Okay. So rewind. That birth was in 2016. Okay. So I'm going on 6 years of being full-time in my side hustle. Okay. So back in 2010, go back there because that's kind of where the story starts. And the story starts much further. But we can do a little quick elevator pitch. Back in March of 2000, excuse me, back in March of 1982, Jody Marquez and Danny Marquez went to Sutter Memorial Hospital to give birth to a young baby who ended up being Jeremy Marquez. Okay. I started working at the age of 15. Okay, 16. I was doing different types of work, but even before then, in the last couple of years, I've been exploring some of my memories that I have of being a young kid, like 5, 6, 7 years old, and I remember, and it's verifiable, I started a few different, side hustles, companies really. The one that we had the most success with and that I'm most proud of is my lawn mowing service. We ended up knocking on some doors and getting some of the neighbors to discontinue their services with their lawn service, and we charged them a little bit less. And we had I had called it J&J or J&M Lawn Mowing Young Men, because my buddy Jake, he was in it too. So him and I were partnered together. So I was 7 years old. Yeah, because I was already mowing my parents' house. And so I was like, hey, let's make some money. Let's do this, right? So I started a side hustle at the age of 7. Now, that's not the company that we're in today. But going back, I have other stories too. Like when my parents would have gatherings, I would put together like an area, a private area in the party for kids to go into, but they would have to pay. I would charge them like 50 cents or $1. So they have to go ask their parents for money and they'd come give me the money and I let them play with my games. That's gangster. Okay. So fast forward, I started working at a young age and I didn't do the normal working route. I didn't go work for food. I did some food companies like fast food and stuff like that, but I did not stick with the fast food industry and do the normal type thing, like go work for your parents or something like that, right? So I had a friend, his name was David. David was making good money already. You know, we were sophomores in high school, freshman, sophomore, right? And I was like, man, what are you doing? Like he always had, you know, all the nice stuff, had some extra money, and he wasn't well off. Like his parents, you know, weren't just like mine. We weren't well off. You know, we were pretty much just above the poverty line. However, I wouldn't know that until I got older. I had everything I needed. I was spoiled. So I started doing telemarketing. It was a telemarketing job. I found it in the local newspaper because that's what my buddy was doing. He was working for a home improvement company. He was setting appointments with homeowners for a sales representative to go by and to sell them dual pane windows, siding, things like that. So that's what he was doing. So I'm like, man, how'd you get that job? He's like, dude, just look in the paper. So I looked in the paper the next day, and sure enough, you know, I found a telemarketing gig, you know, a couple miles from my house. I think I took the bus there. Interviewed that day with a gal. I don't remember her name, but I remember exactly what she looks like. Dark hair. Yeah, I think her name was maybe Sandy or something like that. You know, telemarketing manager. It wasn't her company. She was the manager. There's probably about 10 to 20 employees. So, you know, decent sized company. They had like an office in an industrial area, kind of in a warehouse type area. The warehouse was converted into a call center. So they had an auto dialer and there was a call center in there. They were using old school phones, but with a dialer system. And they were actually, no, there wasn't a dialer. We hand dialed. We had a list and we hand dialed. So the product or the service was debt consolidation related. So it was debt education. So it was educating consumers of how to consolidate their credit card debt. So my job was to talk to these these consumers that had credit card debt, talk to them about how much they owed, paint the pretty picture of how much they would have to pay in interest altogether over time, a lot of money. Then talk to them about consolidation and how much money that would save them. But we wouldn't actually do the consolidation because at that time it wasn't legal. What we would do is we would charge them $800 on one of their cards for a package of information of how to go ahead and get it done on their own. So that was my first role. Jumped in, killed it right away, had a lot of success. Fast forward, 2011, I was referred to a company by a friend of mine, Jamie Cisco. Shout out to Jamie Cisco. iHouse Web, they did IDX websites. So I started selling real estate websites, right? So now I'm using my sales and marketing skills. I'm cold calling, but I'm learning something new. I'm working in a new environment. It's a nice professional company. Ended up being one of the largest IDX website companies. So 2011, right? So I'm learning real estate. I'm learning marketing. I'm learning what makes realtors tick, what they put their money towards, how they work. I'm speaking with them every day. I'm selling 30, 40, 50 websites every single month. So if you think about it, how many realtors I was talking to and building relationships over those years, right? Thousands. Probably hundreds that I can think of right now, just first name basis, right? That I still keep in contact with. Some of them are still using the website that I sold them. Okay. So I learned a lot about this real estate biz and how they work. The thing is, they spend a lot of money. You guys spend a lot of money. You guys spend a lot of money on leads because you get business, you close deals. But the thing is, you're not closing all of them. A lot of that stuff's falling through the cracks because you're going after the low-hanging fruit. You're going after the people, you're closing the deals, the people who answer the phone the first time. If they don't answer, you probably had already moved on. So my first client I approached, it was an agreement for me to work their database. So I had the idea, well, what if I approached one of my old real estate buddies and asked them if they wanted to hire me to call their old leads? Because in any company I'd been in before, old leads or not interested leads, I loved those leads. Another sales rep couldn't close it. I'll come in and close it. What's going on with that guy, right? Usually they get fired. So just because you can't close it doesn't mean I can't. Just because I can't doesn't mean you can't, right? So it goes both ways. I'm not magic. I just work harder. I'm more consistent. Now I have some certain skill sets, but the reason why I'm able to excel in what I do is because I work harder and I'm consistent with what I do. And I'm always getting better. Okay. There's no box. I'm like outside of the box. I'm way over there on the outskirts in the east side. So 2015 or so rolls around and I'm top rep over there. There's no room for advancement. You can't even be the manager because there's only one sales manager there, and then you have the owners. So I decided to part ways with no real plan, because at that time I did not plan on starting my own thing. At that time, I just planned on going somewhere else or taking a break. So we are 11 minutes into this filming. I'm going to pause this filming here. We're going to take a break. We're going to finish the rest of it in the morning. So the story led up to 2016, where I parted ways with iHouse. Have a good night, guys. Have a good morning, guys. Have a good afternoon. We'll reconvene in part 2.